Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I have some workplace romance recs for you, so let's just get right into the books. So the first one is, I feel like, the obvious one for this trope. It is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I feel like everyone's heard about this one at this point. This one follows Lucy and Josh, who work at like an office building together for a publisher, and they kind of have like this like enemies to lovers thing going on, and they kind of just like do all these little things to get on each other's nerves in the office. A lot of the book does take place in the office, so like it's definitely a workplace romance. Like I said, I'm not gonna like get too much into this one because everyone's heard of it, but if you just like for whatever reason haven't, this one is a good one for this trope. Next is The Layover by Lacey Weldon. I literally talk about this book all the time because I think it's so underhyped and super, like, no one talks about this, and they really should be. And I love this book. It follows two flight attendants. It's very similar vibes to The Hating Game. Like, if you liked that book, you will probably like this one. It's two flight attendants, enemies to lovers. She's on her last flight sort of before she settles down and gets married. And this guy she's marrying is like, yeah, you can't be a flight attendant if we're going to be together and whatever. So she's basically decided she's going to give it up for him. She's on her last flight to Belize, and this guy is just like a total jerk to her the whole time. But like obviously things sort of start happening from there. I love this one. It's got like, you know, the enemies to lovers, the banter, the like tropical island. Like it's a really good book, and the author is actually a flight attendant herself. So it's very interesting to sort of see the different aspects of that job, and I really, really enjoyed this one. Next is Rookie Move by Serena Bowen. This one follows a hockey player who, I think he gets either drafted or traded onto this new team, and all he knows at the time is that they're looking for a new manager or a new coach. I can't remember which one. But it ends up that his high school ex-girlfriend's dad fills the position, and she also works for the team as like the social media manager, I think. And so she's around all the time, and they're obviously like working together, and things sort of go from there. It's a second chance romance because obviously like they did date in high school. I really, really love this one. It's one of my favorite hockey romances of all time. The guy in this book is so ridiculously sweet and just like so in love with this girl that I literally, like, I love this book so much. Like, I always talk about it, and I feel like this is another one like not enough people talk about. It is such a cute hockey romance, and definitely like workplace. They both obviously work for the hockey team, and so really love this one as well. Next is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, another one that's very popular. This one follows a professor and a girl who basically is like in school, but like it's also her job, so I'm considering it a workplace romance. And this one, again, enemies to lovers. This guy's kind of got a reputation around the school for like being a jerk and like being a hard marker and whatever, and like everyone hates him, and she obviously ends up spending some more time with him, and things go from there. I really love this one. I feel like everyone loves this one. It deserves the hype it's getting. It's not one of those ones that's like overhyped for no reason. Really, really love this one. Next is Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. This one follows a girl who works in a sort of retirement community, I guess. It's kind of like its own little like village, I guess. Maybe it's a retirement village, I guess you could call it. And she's working there, and this guy shows up who is like the owner's son, I think. He's not like super crazy about working there, but he's obviously there, so they end up working together in this retirement village. And this one was just really cute. I really enjoyed this one. Probably not as much as The Hating Game, but it is still a good like workplace romance. Next is Shipped by Angie Hockman. This is another one I don't see talked about nearly enough. This one follows a girl who works for, I believe it's some sort of travel agency or travel company, and this guy also works for the company, but he works from home, so she hasn't really seen a ton of him. And they both have to go on this cruise together and like pitch a new sort of marketing plan for the cruise. And so they end up obviously on this cruise together, like trapped on a ship with each other. And I really, really liked this one. It deals with like a trope that I think is very commonly done badly, but it does it very well. If you're someone who hates like miscommunication in books, this one is very good at avoiding that even while still using that sort of trope. And I really appreciated that because, you know, sometimes you get tired of like adults not being able to talk to each other, but I did really enjoy that aspect. I thought it was really well done in this one. Really, really loved it. Definitely a good like workplace. I guess they're not really in their workplace, but they are working on the ship, so it's still, and they're like co-workers, so I feel like it still counts. Next is Always Only You, which is the second book, I think, in the Bergman Brothers series. This one follows a hockey player, again, who ends up dating the social media, like, PR person, I guess, for the team, except in this case, the team has, like, a rule that they can't date, so they sort of have to keep things, you know, really quiet until, you know, one of them can maybe leave the team or something happens or whatever. And this one is really, really cute. All of the books in this series are really good. They are standalone, so you could totally read this one on its own. But it definitely, like, has those workplace vibes. You know, the other guys on the team are around and, like, they're constantly surrounded by all these people who are kind of, like, in their business. And I just really like this one. It's really cute. Like I said, the whole series is really good from this one as well. Next is the Wolf Hotel series by Nina West or K.A. Tucker. And this one is super, like, crazy. It follows a girl who is basically supposed to marry this, like, pastor's son. And the pastor's son is like, oh, okay, so, like, we're gonna get married, but I'm gonna sleep around for a bit first, but, like, you can't do that, because I don't want you to ruin, like, your wedding day. Like, I'm good with ruining mine, but, like, you can't do that. And she's kind of like, yeah, dude, I'm not staying with you. Like, he literally thinks he can just go sleep around with all these, like, other girls before their wedding, and that she'll just, like, wait for him and get married. And she's like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. So she sees this, like, job application for this hotel in Alaska and ends up filling it out and just, like, moving there for the summer. And she gets there and she ends up meeting the owner of the hotel, who is, like, immediately kind of interested in her. And obviously, like, things go from there. This is a whole series. It's definitely, like, workplace. They both are working at the hotel. And I really, really enjoyed this one. It's one of those, like, super fast-paced, you know, like, really dramatic, action-filled sort of books where you just, like, can't put it down because something is always happening. And I just really, really loved that. Like I said, definitely, like, workplace, definitely a little bit crazier, and just, like, a different sort of aspect, I think. And lastly is Handle with Care by Helena Hunting. This one follows a girl who is basically, like, a PR manager or, like, social media manager for this, like, family's sons that are running this business. They're not, like, young sons, they're, like, adults. And she ends up dating one of them because she's kind of spending all this time with him, like, taking him to get his suits fitted and, like, telling him, you know, where he needs to be and where, like, whatever. And so they're spending a lot of time together, and they sort of start growing on each other. He's working for the company, she's also working for the company in the task of, like, managing him, basically. And so it's definitely, like, got the workplace vibes. They are always together because they're, like, pretty much always working. And it sort of goes from there. He's, like, a very, like, rugged, like, outdoorsy kind of dude, and she is like, no, you need to look, like, professional, like, you're gonna run this company kind of thing. And so she's sort of helping him, like, get his image together. And so they definitely spend a lot of time together and form a relationship. So those are all the books for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I do new book videos every single week, and I'll see you next time.